morning everyone and welcome to my kitchen. I'm preparing to show you how to make annatto seed oil or manteca con achiote, which is something commonly mentioned and used in Puerto Rican cuisine. You will see a lot of recipes where they will mention the famous manteca con achiote or annatto seed oil, and I want to show you just how simple it is to make. First, I want to show you what I have here. First, we have 2 cups of corn oil, we have 1 cup of achiote seeds, and 1 cup of lard. Now, I know that I've mentioned lard. If you do not like using lard, you can always use the oil, and that will be just fine. I'm just simply showing you how I learned to make it. This is how my mother and my abuelitas taught me to make it, but then again, you can adjust it to your preference and your liking, and that will be fine as well. Annatto seed oil is a very simple dish to make. We're just going to heat and dissolve the manteca or the lard along with the oil. We're going to bring it to temperature. We don't want it to be too hot. Once it's heated, we will add the annatto seeds to it, and we will continue to cook them on very low or medium low heat until the oil and the manteca or lard have acquired this bright red color, which is really used mainly when we prepare dishes such as arroz con gandules, which is pigeon peas rice, arroz con salchicha, which is basically just sausage, rice, etc. You would also see annatto seed oil in some of the traditional meals such as pernil, also pasteles, alcapurrias. In a variety of Puerto Rican recipes, you will see that the mention of annatto seed oil. So I figure I will show you the basis of what this really is. I'm hoping that through the different videos that I will be sharing with you, I can show you just how easy and simple it is to make some of our meals, and you get to try them. Also, in my experience, I've learned that some of our recipes are compound recipes, and what that simply means is that some of the ingredients that we use is something that you would typically prepare in advance and keep it in your fridge or in your pantry, and it's available to you once you're going to prepare a dish. For example, the annatto seed oil will be one of those items that you always want to have handy and ready to go so that you don't have to go through this process every time you're going to be making a dish. In the future, you will also see the garlic paste that we use a lot, and one of the most infamous and most popular ingredients that goes into Puerto Rican cooking will be our fresh or sofrito criollo or Creole sofrito. And basically what that is the peppers, onions, garlic, and I will be able to show you in the future what that looks like so that you can also, add that to your compound recipes. To get started, I want to just begin by showing you my rice pot, and please do not be alarmed, but my mother and my abuelitas believe that if your arrocera or your rice pot look like this, that means that it was being put to good use. So do not be alarmed. I did not burn it. It's simply actually very old. I believe this was my mother-in-law's arrocera, and I was lucky to have inherited from her. If my calculations are correct, I would say that particular rice pot is over 60 years old. Now we're going to go ahead and turn our stove on to our knob onto high, and that's just simply so that we can begin to heat and warm up our oils together and our lard. We want to melt the lard and the oil together before we add the annatto seed. We've added our oil and the lard to our pan, and we're going to wait for the lard to dissolve and melt before, and once that's done, we'll go ahead and add our achiote seeds. So we're just going to give this a couple of minutes until our lard dissolves. We can get a wooden spoon and mix it just so that it can dissolve quicker. I've kept the heat on high because we're waiting for our lard to melt. It's been all but about a minute or so. This moves pretty quickly. The lard, it just takes a few seconds or a minute or so to dissolve. But once that happens, we know that our oil is heated and our lard is heated, and it's okay to add our annatto seeds. We definitely, right now we have it on high because I'm trying to speed up the process of heating up the oil, but we definitely want to keep an eye on our heat once those seeds you know, are incorporated. As a matter of fact, the lard is almost melted, so I'm going to go ahead and lower my heat to medium low to ensure that the temperature is not too high once we add our annatto seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on 3 for the time being, and we're almost there. It looks like we're almost there, and I'm going to go ahead and add my annatto seeds. And there you have it. You'll see that as time goes by, your oil starts or begins to get this little red color, and the longer you cook it, the darker the color, the more intense the color will begin to get. Again, keep in mind, we don't want to burn the seeds. That will give you a bitter taste if you do that. We don't want that. We really want just a very beautiful red color, but without the bitterness. So we want to keep this on the stove anywhere between, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes. You can leave it longer at a very low heat, but I recommend that you keep an eye on it just to ensure that you don't burn the seeds and ruin the oil that, you know, you've worked so hard to achieve. When we come back, I'm going to show you the final product, and you'll be able to see just how simple it is to make your own annatto seed oil. So after about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes on low, this is what it looks like, and looks like we're done. It has that beautiful bright red color, and all there is left to do is wait for it to cool, and then we're going to go ahead and drain it into a glass mason jar, or we could also use what we call an achiote, and basically what that is a stainless steel. So there we have it. After 20 minutes of slow cooking, we have our annatto seed oil, or achiote oil, or aceite con achiote, or manteca con achiote, whichever one you prefer. All there is left to do is wait for it to cool. Once it's cool, we'll go ahead and transfer it to a mason jar. And I like to keep mine in the refrigerator. I make this ahead of time, and to ensure the quality of it so it doesn't go rancid on you, I like to keep it in the refrigerator, because when you use this, you don't use an awful lot of it unless you're making alcapurrias or pasteles. The reality is that when making our rice, we don't use much of it, but we like to have it and prepare it ahead of time so that we don't have to scramble around last minute making our annatto seed oil. So there you have it. I'll come back to show you what it looks like once it's been drained and bottled. And there you have it. Here is our annatto seed oil, ready for bottling and refrigeration, ready for use. If you enjoyed this recipe, please give me a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to making more of these fun videos with you and sharing a little bit of my heritage and a little bit of me, a little piece of my heart, with all my friends. Buen provecho.